Right, so where do you start method feeder fishing? Do you just rock up and just plop one out anywhere? Or do you pick specific lines? I mean, if you're in a typical match scenario, what's going through your mind when you start off?
Well, what I like to do is I always give myself two lines if I can. And I believe, because they're in... I don't believe...
When you say lines, two areas?
Two areas, yeah. Sorry, yeah, 2 areas. So I'll pick one. Normally you've got a spare peg and these are wide pegs, so I'll pick one at 1 o'clock and one at 11 o'clock. Yeah. Not like going to limit to my peg, but give myself two, like you would on a pole, 2 pole lines. So what I'll start a match on either my left or right one. Yeah. If wind's blowing that way, I normally tend to start on my left because that'll be my last line. That's when I'm going to catch later on, or that's when I'm hoping to catch most of my fish. But what I do I feed one and fish another. Right.
So you're not only putting the method feeder in, you're actually loose feeding as well?
I loose feed, yeah. And depends.
So what determines the distance then?
Well, I never on like lakes like this. Well, what ain't got an island to separate you from them, I never try and chuck halfway because I want to have my side. I want to keep to my side so my fish are in my area. I don't want to be chucking with 2 to 10 yard of him and sharing the same fish. Right. I want to give myself my own space. So another reason I have 2 lines is when I hook a fish, I want to bring it away or that way and come in down middle. If I just chuck down middle, I'm playing through all lines all the time.
Right, so you're disturbing what you're fishing.
So say I start my match, I'll chuck to my left and feed to my right. Right. Then I'll try and catch a few fish off that, chuck to my right, not feed that left-hand line while I'm fishing it, but I'll be feeding my right line. Right. Chuck on my right line, then I'll start feeding me left, and I'm alternating. So
you're fishing one and priming another, basically.
I might catch 2 fish on my left and think, I mean, if I'm chucking in at rods going, there's fish there, but if I'm waiting and I'm getting not many signs or an odd sign, I'll catch one, reel in, and it seems strange not to cast it in the same place, but I'll chuck there, and it might just go out at blow, and just keep rotating my lines. Right.
So you've got 2 lines. What about the edges? I mean, commercial fisheries, such as this, are synonymous with the fish coming into the edge all the time. Does the edge ever come into play for a method feeder?
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, you can fish your poles here, but I always think we've been shallow in margins. Unless it's an out-and-out feeder, match feeder only, you're better off fishing like and I'll not feed this till last hour, and that will be just to catch 2 or 3 big fish, like just an underarm lob off my rod end, and then but that'll not get fed all day. I'll not feed that all day. That'll just be purposely just to try and nick 2 or 3 big fish that last half an hour.
Right, because the bigger fish do tend to get caught in the edge, don't they?
And you'll catch them as they're coming in edge. Whereas, you know yourself, they can be a bit wary edge. You get a tap on your teeth, you see a bow wave. There, you can't see what's happening, but you know that them fish are going to be working the winter bank that last hour and a half maybe, but that's where I'll come my last hour, but I'll not even think of looking at that.
Okay. Right, talk to me about rod angles, I mean, I see an awful lot of people on commercial fisheries, and the rod's either, they're sat to the side and the rod's there, or they're sat to this side and the rod's out there. So the rod basically is, they're waiting for this to happen. You're fishing pretty much direct. Straight out in front of you, direct.
I do that because it's not that. I know people sometimes don't like reel up. Like the reel near the legs, but I can see, I'm watching my tip, I can see what's happening, I can still feed I'm not having to look down and keep like that. I can see what's happening on lake, but also with that, I don't know, you like directly into fish. You pick up, they have the charge, rod down. I mean, and I believe but I'm not into one of these to keep changing way at rod. If my rod's that way and I'm fishing, I like to try and bring them in like that. And if I have got to swat, I will, but I'm not a believer in keep bringing rod left, right. You're just loosening your hook hold.
Right, and from a security point of view, because I mean a lot of these takes on the method, they're quite savage, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you've got a front rest with a little guard on it.
Yeah. There is new
and
ones.
A back gripper that the butt is actually gripped.
Well,
so the rod can't get dragged away.
To be fair, these are new. These is new products, and it caught me eye this because I am a believer in good rod rest. But what I like about this one is we've actually put grooves in rod rest so your line can go in it. So it's not trapping my line like on a flat rod rest. I can set me drag, and when I get a bite, it just pulls through. Brilliant idea, really, and really good. But that as well, to be fair, that stops everything. But these are good, as you can see. They're easy. You can lift your rod straight up, but you're not having to. It just sits in it and it's locked.
Right. Okay.
Brilliant.
And you're allowing the take to develop. You're not. There's no striking here, is there?
Oh no. With method feeder fishing, if your tip drops back, don't just pick up. Try and tighten up, and if you can't tighten up, that means fish is bringing your feeder. It's already on, swimming towards you. Other than that, there's no mistaking any bites. But with method fishing, you don't need to have your hand near your rod.
Yeah.
The only time you need to go to your rod is when there's a fish on or you're coming to reel in.
Okay. So 2 lines for Jamie, rotating them, fishing one, feeding one, and the possibility of nicking fish very late on in the margins. Don't ignore the margins, because invariably those bigger fish, particularly in the last hour of a match or indeed the last few hours of a day, do come into the edge. If you think about a typical commercial fishery, what a lot of people do when they finish their session, get the old bait tray and they chuck it in the edge,
that's what they used to.
And that's where those big fish get used to having a free meal every day. So don't ignore the edge. Right, so you've got your 2 lines sorted out. How do you get back to the same area every time? Again, for the benefit of people just starting off method feeder fishing, who may not understand the benefits of a line clip on a reel.
Yeah.
Do you clip up when you're method feeder fishing?
No, because, if I were bream fishing and I want my bait on an area, but no, not like this. I don't think you can't really miss-chuck. You know, I'm lined up with I always make a far bank marker.
Right.
I've got the platform there to the right and I've got the platform there to my left. And I know I can, even if a bad caster, you're not going to be
that far off.
Plus I'm loose feeding, so I'm making an area anyway. Okay. But I mean, if I were chucking to an island, I would be clipped up, because I don't want my feeder going short, nor do I want it going on island. But on open water like this, I don't want to keep having to go like that to get me clip off. You know, you can fish it on sides of a snooker table, sides of a pool table.
Okay, because I mean, you're more of an advocate of using that clutch on the reel, aren't you?
I don't want to keep trying to get me clip off. I'm firing pellets in on area of a pool table. Yeah. So I know, it don't have to be smack on. It can be to left of it, right of it. Sometimes that can be a good thing as well.
Okay.
Just going outside your feed. But yeah, that's what I tend to. I never clip up unless I'm fishing up to features.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Jamie's explained to us, like, he picks the 2 lines at a certain distance and he's fishing one and he's rotating, or feeding the other, should I say, and then he can just rotate them as and when bites dry up. He can just move to another area. So what does Jack do? What's your normal approach for a pleasure session or even a 5-hour match? What would you do?
If I was going to start a match, I'd probably start maybe 16 metres, just under arming it.
Right.
And
so why 16 metres? You're quite specific with that distance.
I think it's where it usually gets fished a lot. I think it's where the fish usually are. And if you just chuck in the middle straight away, you might chuck past them and miss them. Do you know what I mean? I think if you just start short, you might have a chance of a quick early few fish.
Right.
And then you can go along after that.
Right. So are you setting up any other areas or lines at all?
Yeah, I'd usually have 3 lines. I'd have my 16-metre line.
Yeah.
I'd usually start on that and end on that. And then I'd bounce off my 2 lines, like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Right. And are they a similar distance then?
No.
So where's your 16-metre line? Is it straight out?
16-metre line straight in front of you. Usually where you'd fish shallow or something like that, or long pole.
Yeah.
And I'd have 2 lines about 25 metres, just off the middle, really.
Right.
One
10
about
o'clock
2,
and 2 o'clock.
10 o'clock and 2
Right.
o'clock, yeah.
Okay. What about the edges, Jack? I mean, as I was discussing with Jamie earlier, like a lot of these, or the bigger fish in these commercial fisheries, tend to hang around the edges because they get free food at the end of the day on a lot of fisheries.
Yeah.
And invariably on the matches, a lot of people will come close for the last hour because they can catch bigger fish quickly and amass a bigger weight.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was going to do that, I'd probably use the large 15 gram.
Right.
And just underarm it to the next platform.
Right. So you'd have no hesitation in fishing the edges as well at the end of the day?
No, but I'd leave it till the last hour. I think if you chuck on it too early, you can just completely blow it like.
Right, okay. And what about how much feed are you putting into, when you're making your cast with your feeder and you're waiting for that bite, how much feed are you putting on the other areas? Are you feeding both those 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock?
I'll only feed one. What I usually do is them 2 long lines, I'll feed one heavy and the other one I'll just ping the odd pellet over the top while I'm fishing on it. I don't feed both at the same time, just in case you don't want to be drawing fish off each line, so I like to stick on one while I'm on one. Okay. Sometimes I'll feed that 16-metre line constant and I'll let it build up for the last hour. Yeah. And then sometimes when you drop on it, it's just not even
fish
on the rod. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. Interesting. So, right, looking at your arrangement for the rod and everything, again, similar to Jamie, the rod is pretty much straight out in front of you. Yeah. You're not fishing off to the side, left or right at all?
I have it on a slight of an angle, but...
Right. Just to sort of like put a little tiny bit of a bend in the tip.
Just to see any line is out like that.
But you don't use a front rod rest?
No, I just think it's easy with your nets. You can just move it up and down, get the rod where you want it to be. Yeah. And that net, it just doesn't go nowhere.
So again, for the benefit of those watching, the butt guide is actually jammed up against the front of the keep net, which stops it sliding forward and being pulled in.
The first eye.
And you've got one of the sliding grips on the back to grip the butt.
Yeah, it's not going nowhere.
Okay. All right.
Not going nowhere.
We'll let you catch a few more and we'll come back to you in a bit.
All right, cheers.
Right, so that was quite a quick bite. So, I mean, going back to what you were saying just now about feeding a lot or continuously feeding for a while. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to have provoked a take pretty quickly.
Yeah. Sometimes you can be sat there now without a bite, but if you just keep on feeding it, sometimes they just rock up, you know. Yeah. You can be sat there now without a bite and then all of a sudden you have 6 and 6 trucks, you know what I mean? And they're not small fish, so you only need a few fish and you're back up there, do you know what I mean?
Can you put too much feed in? Can you overdo it?
You can, if it's in the first few hours, I think you can, and you can ruin it. But then last 2 hours, I don't think you can ruin it as such. But I just wouldn't keep on lashing it in. You can up the bait, just not constantly.
Right. And when you're feeding, when you're fishing one line and you're priming another line, how much feed are you putting over that priming line? Like, I mean,
I usually do about 6 pellets twice.
About 6 pellets,
about 6 twice, yeah.
So it's just a constant trickle.
Yeah, I'll start off with 2 pellets twice. Yeah. And then I'll usually work my way to 6 twice. You just feel you in, if you know what I mean. 2 at the start, and then within 3 hours, you're firing in about 6 twice, you know.
Okay. Right, so we're landing our fish now. Fish is in the net. Yeah. Now, to make the procedure very quick and effective, the rod butt goes under the butt. Angler now has 2 free hands to deal with the fish, quickly and efficiently. You can see the line's tight all the time, so there's no chance of anything tangling up. Fish has gone into the keep net, feed is being reloaded, and get back out on the spot as quickly as possible. This is all about saving time, keeping things neat, simple and efficient. Yeah. If you play that fish really low, you can get fish in far quicker than you can by holding the rod up in the air, trying to apply pressure all the time, because all the fish wants to do is pull back against you. And there we go, back out on the spot. And that whole procedure really should be a couple of minutes tops, Jamie?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. If you keep your line tight and you go to casting, normally you can reload your feeder, let it go forward, bring it back, pendulum and in, set to go again.
And I think the good thing about getting into a routine like this is once you're in this routine, chances are you can get bites pretty quickly, so you want to get back out on that spot again, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
All right. And then feed. Don't forget to feed. Right. So everybody wants to make their method feeder fishing more efficient. So give us 5 tips that really could make the difference in a day's fishing.
The actual method feeder itself, judge it by conditions, use the right weight to the conditions. Tip 2 would be keep your lines fed at all times. Don't just keep that bait going in. Tip 3, keep ringing your changes with your up baits. If you're not catching
colours,
yeah, all different colours. Tip 4 would be keep your rod low when playing fish till you get them to netting range. Rod up in air, scoop under your leg and in. And the main one, tip 5, would be you just shoot the right rod for right job sort of thing.
So nice
through action rod to counterbalance all them lunges off them bigger fish.
Okay.
Then meaning less up pulls. That's what we need.
So there you have it, 5 top tips from Jamie Wild, who's a bit of a commercial method master. Right, so we've had Jamie's top 5 tips. So if you were talking to somebody who's just started method feeder fishing or has done a little bit, give them 5 tips that would help them.
Yeah, first one would be don't tighten your line too much. You don't want it too tight. Any line as well, it's just going to move your feeder. You just want a slight little bend in it. You can see any knocks or liners. Second tip, don't just have one hook choice. You want a few there, just
right. So ringing the changes with
different
hook
colours.
baits.
Yeah. What I usually do is I usually have 2 colours.
Right.
So I'll have one yellow and one red usually.
Yeah.
And I'll have 3 casts on a yellow. If you don't get one, change over, and sometimes you'd be surprised.
So be active.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Tip number 3.
Don't sit too long.
Right.
I usually leave it 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll cast out again. Any longer than that.
And you can do this with your phone, or you can get these timers
if you don't
as well.
If you don't have a stopwatch, just keep on tracking every 3 minutes. Just use your phone. I just look at my phone every few minutes.
Yeah.
Every 3 minutes that goes by, I'm either firing in or casting.
Okay. Tip 4.
Tip 4. Don't just have one bait. Like, don't just go with micros. I always have 4s and micros.
Right, so you're talking about the feed bait for the feeder.
Yeah, to go on your feeder, and I just swap and change.
Okay.
If it's not working on micros, I'll have a few casts with the 4s. Some days you won't even need to use one of the 2, you just use micros all day, but if it's just not working, sometimes you can just change to a 4s and you can just go around.
Okay, and tip 5?
Tip 5, you have to give us a second.
Bit of an animal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice fish, that. Well, we'll just let Jack play this fish while he's thinking about tip number 5.
No, tip 5 is try chucking past your feed or before you feed.
Right, that's quite interesting, that, because sometimes fish back off the feed, don't they?
Yeah, so the last 2 chucks I've just chucked short of where I've been feeding. I've got 2 and 2 chucks.
Right.
So I think if you have a good run on one run, don't be scared to just give it a chuck 5 metres past or 5 metres before.
Right.
I think sometimes them big clever fish to just back off or sit off just your bait.
Okay. All right, and there you have 5 tips from another commercial master, Jack Barrett, who's just about to land yet another fish while method feeder fishing.